Shalom, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai. Let's give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. It belongs to the apostles, elders, and bishops. Great millstone that taught us this word. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect across the planet Earth. I just want to talk about, the chariots of Israel, also known as, what Esau calls the UFOs, and how they're going to play a dual role in these end times. They're coming to be a curse onto the planet Earth, as well as salvation, for the elect of Israel. They're coming to bring destruction as well as protection. Destruction and protection, and ultimately salvation, for the elect. So, but Zechariah described them as, a curse on the planet Earth. This is Zechariah 5:1. Then I turned and lifted my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. So he's looking at a chariot, or a so-called UFO. He said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I seeth a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. And then he said unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For every one that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it, and every one that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it. So yeah, he described it as a curse, because they're coming to bring destruction. This is in Isaiah 66:15. For behold, the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, will come with fire, and his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. So they're going to be blasting fire on this place, man, just like they show you in the movies, like in Independence Day and World of Worlds. Just a couple of examples of the destruction those chariots are going to bring according to the scriptures. Like that movie Independence Day was straight out the scriptures about how, the chariot was amber with fire, and the wheels among it, Ezekiel's wheel. Like, yeah, that's straight out of the Bible, man. It says, "For the Lord come with fire," so they're gonna be blasting on this place, and this is before the nuclear destruction, and his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger and fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. But also at the same time, they're coming to defend Israel. They're coming to bring that protection as well. Even in this time, unto this very day, the chariots, you can't see them, but they're there. As Isaiah 31:5, as birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it. So yeah, the chariots also coming to protect Israel in these last days, man. In Daniel 12, it says that Michael is going to have to come down. Get that real quick. Daniel 12:1. And at that same time shall Michael stand up, that great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. So Michael, he's the archangel, man. He's going to come down, man, with his army, man. And also your guardian angel, is with you as well in that day, man. But it says, for there shall be a time of trouble, a time of Jacob's trouble, such as since there was a nation, even to that same time, such as never since there was a nation. So it's going to be the worst time in recorded history, man. Ever since the beginning of time, this time that's coming up is going to be worse than it's ever been before. So we're going to need, Michael the archangel. We're going to need, spiritual power. We're going to need Yahushai, with you in that day. That's why it's very important to, endure unto the very end, man. And at that same time, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So even though it's a terrible time that's coming, that's the time of or the elect's deliverance. So that's why we look forward to these times. That's why we hasten the day, you know. For these things, Lord said, for these things must come to pass. So we have to get through it. But it just said, and at that time, like, people shall be delivered. And that's what we're looking forward to. We have that helmet of salvation, man. We're looking forward to be delivered out of this place, man. So deliverance can't come until, that time of Jacob's trouble comes, until that hour of temptation comes, until ultimately World War III. But everyone that shall be found written in the book, the elect, But back in Isaiah, it says, as birds flying, talking about those chariots, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. So we need defense, man. Scripture says that, we're worms out here. Jacob, thou worm. We have no defenses. But the ultimate power is on our side, man. That's the good news. That's something to rejoice about. We don't want, FEMA for protection. We don't want this government for protection. We want Yahweh Shai as our protection. We want these angels out here as our defense and our protection, man. Because this whole government is set up, they're going to destroy us, man. Put us in concentration camps. They want to chip you up. You don't want to run down to this government for help or any type of defense. We want the defense of Yahweh Shai and his angels, man, the host of heaven. Just like Elisha, he opened up the man of the Lord's eyes, man. Like the time when the king of Syria was about to attack Israel. This is 2 Kings 6:15. And when the servant of the man of the Most High was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? You saw the whole host of the Syrian army, man. They could pass the city, Just like the, modern day times, man. These armies are compassing the cities right now. So when you ask, hey, what shall we do? You pray to Yahweh Shai, man. The angels will be there. And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. Because he had a vast army, man. But Elisha was like, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them, And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Lord opened his eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So the Most High opened up the eyes of the servant of the man of the Lord. And he saw the whole mountain range was full of chariots, man, right there to protect him. As an example of those birds flying and the defense of Jerusalem, defending Jerusalem, man. He said, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them, even unto this very day, man. Even unto this very day. And lastly, they come to bring that salvation. Them chariots. This is Revelation 11:11. After 3 days and a half, the Spirit of the Lord entered into them. They stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. The prophets. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So why were they going up into the cloud or to the chariot? To be delivered from the nuclear destruction That's what salvation is. In that same hour, there's a great earthquake, and the tenth part of the city fell. And in the earthquake, there were slain men, 7,000. And the remnant were afraid and gave glory to the power of heaven. So the remnant and the elect were in those chariots. They were scared, but they gave glory, to the Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. That earthquake was the result of the nuclear missiles touching down. It was 200 million. It says the 10th part of the city fell, all of America, from Maine to California. The 10 zip codes. America's broken up into 10 different zip codes, man. And everyone that's standing on the shores of the soil of America will be slain. It says in the earthquake were slain men, 7,000, man. The remnant was in that chariot, man. It's Isaiah 26:20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. Yeah, hide thyself in thy chambers. What's that? In the chariots. Right when the Lord said, come up hither, and they ascended up into the cloud, And that was the rapture, so to speak, the deliverance, getting beamed up, the salvation, ascended up to heaven in a cloud, in a chariot, the chariot of heaven, the chariot of Israel. It says, enter into thy chambers and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as if it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. That nuclear destruction, man. Like great earthquake. It says, for behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. That until that indignation be overpast. And then it says right here is, and the remnant were frightened, man. So they're hiding in them chariots, in them chambers, while the missiles are touching down, man. It's gonna be a fearful sight. But then the elect, they're gonna be given glory, the power of heaven, man. Until the indignation be overpast, and then that New Jerusalem is gonna come down from heaven after that. But I just want to talk about them chariots. They're gonna play a dual role. They're gonna be a curse under this earth, but they're also gonna be the salvation and protection of the elect. With that, shalom.